Hello, lovely listeners.
We're your boyfriend twins.
We're the same.
But we're different. But we're not actually boyfriends.
Yeah, we're not related either yet.
Yeah, I was trying to add like a sexy, sultry part to that. And I think it worked.
Yeah, I think it worked too. I wasn't going for sexy sultry. I was going for like musical theater kid who tried acting as a career but then ultimately failed, but brings it out every time he can at his job as a registered nurse because he feels an untapped potential within him that isn't actually as impressive as he thinks he is.
I was going to make a joke, but I feel like anything I say is going to be too hurtful. So maybe we just move on from that.
I think it's probably best if we do, because I'm glad you know me well enough to know that I cannot take the shit that I dish out to you.
Well, here's the thing. I was like, awesome. He's teeing me up for a joke. And then you just started describing your actual life. I was like, uh-oh.
Just you wait. I am so excited about this one thing.
my
Oh,
gosh.
I am ready. You're so funny. Oh, this is going to be incredible. Guys,
Oh my God, thank you. I agree. I think I'm very funny.
okay, you guys need to stick around for later in this episode. I have been waiting. So yesterday, Kevin and I were FaceTiming while he was gardening. And there's somebody, I can't tell you right now, who he has no idea, like he doesn't know who this person is. And it's very interesting to me. I don't know why. I just find it very fascinating. Anyways, okay, Kevin, how are you doing? I know we chatted yesterday on FaceTime and you were killing some plants.
I think the way I phrased it was I was killing it.
Sorry, guys, he hasn't gotten a lot
No,
of sleep.
I really haven't. I have
really,
not gotten a lot of
really
sleep
messing
this
our
week.
ratings.
I am on my third cup of coffee. It is 8 a.m. and I'm doing great.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I'm so amazing. I'm in that weird pocket of like emotional space where I have way too much on my emotional plate, but since I have so much on my plate, it's actually kind of impressive that I'm doing all this, and the fact that that's kind of impressive is something that I can hold on to as inspiration to keep me going, because like, wow, Kevin,
Ooh,
good job.
I like that.
It's the high of overworking yourself before the come down of the inevitable crash from being burnt out. But I don't think I'm going to burn out. I think what's going to happen is that I will rise like a phoenix from the ashes and become a stronger, more bitchy gay than I've
Yes.
ever been before.
It'll be,
And I think everyone benefits from that.
it'll be reflective of the X-Men Phoenix movie that Sophie Turner was in that horribly flopped.
Famously, very good movie.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I think phoenixes in all media are fun and good and don't have any negative repercussions. I think all X-Men Phoenix movies have always ended up well, and so will I.
Yes. I wouldn't describe you as somebody who could be a bitchy gay, going back to what you said. I can't see that as your vibe. I think the bitchy gay stereotype, I think your brain is a little dark. It's a little beyond bitchy. It's more like dark, a little bit like twisted, unwell.
What's the difference between someone who's bitchy and someone who's being a bitch?
I don't think that distinction is important. I think as a society, we do so much to say, oh no, this person isn't like this. They were just acting like this when we justify people's shitty behaviors. No, people are their shitty behaviors. I think you need to attribute it to their personalities versus situations. So like if someone's shitty to me, I'll be like, oh, I love this person, but they were shitty to me. That is a part of them that is a little bit shitty. And we cannot just excuse people and be like, oh no, their behavior was shitty, but they're nice. So I think that you should be more comfortable attributing things to people. However, this does not apply to me. When I do anything that's a little bit rude or bitchy,
I don't know what word you just said. You know, I don't have any
Kevin,
reading comprehension
I don't have any
skills.
reading comprehension either. I kind of just like said things and I'm like, I love that you'll never correct me because both of us are equally illiterate. Actually, I'm not going to pretend to be in a similar boat. I'm stupid in a lot of ways that you're very smart. One of those things is
Say
not
no more.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
no more.
Hey, I'm open about it. I'm open about it. But spelling is my forte. I can demolish anybody in a
Really?
spelling contest. Yes.
That's crazy. I can't spell to save my life.
Oh my God.
There's something that goes on in my brain where I see a word that basically, as the great poet Robert Frost once said, two paths divulge.
Isn't that
in
the Santa Claus one?
A forest once. Yes. Famously, Robert Frost wrote about how once you kill one Santa Claus, you have to replace him and take the role of Santa Claus.
I wanted that Tim
that
Burton
was
Jack
him.
Frost from 2007 to like raw me when I was 11. Anyways, continue. What were you saying?
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton. No, not Tim Burton. There was a Jack Frost movie when I was a child.
The Guardians movie?
Hold up.
Was
No,
it
no,
like
no.
Holiday
It's
Guardians?
not
And then the
animated. It's
Jack
not
Frost
animated.
character was some twink?
Wait, Jack Frost movie.
Are you talking about Martin Short
Oh,
coming
I'm not.
in
I know
yelling
who
at Tim
Martin Short is.
Allen?
Oh dear, I have mixed. I think I'm talking about the Guardians. I think I'm talking about Guardians.
Oh my gosh. Not you being attracted to the twinkiest of animated twinks.
Oh
Who's
no,
ever
no, no!
twinked.
This is not it. I'm sorry. I'm mixing up a lot of things. It was an old man who
Well,
played
share
Jack
with the
Frost.
class.
It seemed to
Oh
be some.
no.
I
You are talking about Martin Short.
No, I did that. I mixed something up
Yeah.
in my brain.
Look it
That
up.
was not the.
Show it
I
up.
looked it up.
Show
That's
it.
not the one.
He's
That's not.
got plastic blue hair
That's not
and
the
he
one that
looks
I.
gross
That's
and
not the
you're
one I was
attracted to
turned on
that.
by. That's not the one I was
Show
turned on.
the class right now.
This is
Let
not
me
the one I
see.
was
Santa
turned on
Claus 2?
by.
Yeah,
This is
there it
not the one I
is.
was turned
There
on
it is.
by.
The Santa Claus 3
Stop.
where
Stop. Stop. That's not the one I was turned on by.
that I would also like to see how a frigid icy dildo feels straight up my esophagus. So.
Well, it would match your personality, so I think that would be fun. Like a matching set.
Actually, a cold dildo, would that be fun or not? I think it wouldn't be.
A lot
I
of
think that's
people.
too much work.
No, but a lot of people, like, I've heard that the reason people like glass dildos is because they're temperature sensitive and they can like adjust temperatures, and so people
I
can.
feel like you're playing with fire at that point.
Or
I
ice.
feel like a glass dildo.
No, they're like strong.
That
I know it's
seems
scary
like-
to think about. It's like very strong. It's not
Yeah.
gonna break. Apparently,
Mm,
I'm not,
not
speaking
after
for
I
experience.
use it. You don't know the way I do things.
You're like the
I'm
tapeworm
very
in my
messy.
ass. Got huge teeth. That thing nibbles.
Yeah.
Last guy who was inside me
Yeah.
came out with half a dick. One testicle was missing.
Yeah.
My
I just
tapeworm
break
was
it right off
fat.
and I keep it as a souvenir.
Yeah. Our producer Timo looks
Gross.
disgusted. He looks like he's gonna leave the call.
3 cups of coffee in and I have my wits about me.
Okay, give me your week as a sex position. I'll lead us since you're in coffee land and lack of sleep land.
Bitch. Okay. So I'm a dumb slut. And we know this. We already
Well,
know this.
sluts have sex.
Rude. Okay.
You can just say you're dumb and naked.
Okay, great. I am. Can I be a whore then?
I mean, one that doesn't get a lot of business, sure.
Awesome. I am a non-businessy whore. I am currently a struggling freelance slut, looking for work, but also not that motivated. You know, I graduated college, and I'm just like, the job market's hard.
But I'm not.
Anyway.
Okay, week is a sex position. Week is a sex position. We got this.
Unlike buying property in this country, I'm really easy. Oh.
You know, Kevin, Sleepy You is like normal me where you're going very tangential and I love it, but I'm like, oh, this is what Kevin feels like when he has to rein me in. Poor guy.
I think you're saying that wrong. I think you should be saying that internally with like a frown on your face rather than laughing about it.
I'm proud of a lot of my flaws. A lot of my flaws.
Ooh, okay.
You loved
What about
we
those
lo-
other ones though?
You can't even spell flaws, you illiterate hick. Okay, continue. Sex position.
Probably not. There's probably a vowel in there. That I
Okay,
forgot
hold up.
about.
No,
My
pause.
six-
You little shit. You're tired, so you're not being mean back to me, and now I seem like a bully. Guys, Kevin is usually mean back to me, and it's banter. I sound like a bully today. Do not.
And it happens
Do
every
not.
fucking
Do not.
week.
This
And
is
hi,
not right.
just one. All I want is to tell him about my sex position, and
Not
he's
right.
bullying
Shut up.
me.
Stop.
I call myself a slut and a whore, and he says, "No, you're not, because you can't be." And I'm like, "What constitutes a slut and a whore?" And he's like, "Actually, you have to be taking it up the ass more often."
Okay. I knew it. Okay, I'm gonna be a little nicer
But
to you
here's the
today. No.
No, don't. That's lame.
Well, then be mean back to me. I don't want to be mean to you.
Okay,
Just like
yeah,
that.
okay, God, you're yelling.
I will.
He's yelling again, and he says, "I have to be mean back."
Okay, sex position. Come on.
I think my sex position is it's not a position, but I guess like it
Shocker.
reminds me of the like sexy baby trope where girls are like, "Ooh, I don't know how anything works. Can a man show me how everything happens?" And like I feel like this literally I was paying off my credit cards 3 days ago,
Ooh,
and
love that. That's
there was a
hot.
charge for $420, and I was like,
Blaze
I have no
it.
fucking idea.
420.
Blaze it, yep. So there was a charge, And I was like, I don't know where this came from. It's such a weird amount. And then I looked up the place and it was like this warehouse in downtown Los Angeles. And I was like, okay, it's one purchase for $420. It was on Tuesday. I know I didn't do anything that day because I was home working all day. I was like, where did this charge come from? And so I call my credit card company. I was like, hey, can you give me a receipt? I think this is fraudulent. And then after being on the phone with them, nearly going through the process to get a refund, a new card, something, I realized it was a charitable donation that I had made. Because I did a little charity thing on my birthday, and so that was the day I paid everything out. And so on Thursday, I spent like a good hour of my day trying to dispute the charges of donating to charity that I absolutely did. I feel so badly for the person on the call because I didn't even cop to it when I realized what was happening. The moment I realized that I was in the wrong, I just hung up the phone and I walked away. I was on the phone with Discover and I was like, and I hung up.
It's okay. I mean, the fact that you just hung up instead of saying anything is so fucking funny to me because I can totally see you just being like, and it's like, nothing.
Oh, 100%. And it was a gasp. Hang up.
Oh no.
Exactly that.
Oh Lord. Okay, so you would be a little baby in your sex position?
Yeah, I'm just a dumb little girl going about this world waiting for a man to show me how to actually live. That's how we're feeling.
I like that.
Anyway, I wish I had a less embarrassing story to tell.
The things you do on like a daily basis, particularly on this podcast and what you talk about, are far more embarrassing than that story and things that you should actually feel some shame for. It's weird how your brain chooses. It nitpicks.
Yeah.
Okay, no, this doesn't work. Well. You're too sleepy. Yeah, no, I'm a bully. I need to stop. I'm also going through my own demons right now.
So Taha, if your week was like a sexual position, what would it be like?
I've had a really good week. I had a really nice, intimate connection with somebody that was visiting town and like electrifying sexual experiences of my life. And it was very fucking good. Don't make that face. It was great. Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Shut the fuck up.
Why is this the dichotomy of our podcast? Why are you allowed to be so fucking chaotic and then turn around and be like, life is so beautiful, and also I appreciate all of the rainbows and the butterflies.
I'm multifaceted, Kevin. You can be multifaceted too.
And then Meanwhile, I'm over here I thought I was the stoic one. I thought I was the one that like was the grounding center. Meanwhile, I'm over here fucking disputing charity donations.
Hey, we're both of them. Moron. That's what I like, is that we can both be both. We're both versed.
No. Life is linear. It goes in one path and you choose one direction.
Okay, so that was one thing that happened this week. So like it was just really, really like, oh my God, like the way human connection can manifest itself physically in sex, I think is such a beautiful thing. And he was so lovely. He had this big, beautiful smile. Anyways, and it's great too because I'm like actively not seeking a relationship with anyone, and he lives in New York, so it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. What is funny?
I can never tell what direction you're gonna go. He had this big, fat, beautiful smile.
Shut up! He did that. It was so cute. I really hope he's not listening to this because that's embarrassing for me. Actually, no, it's not. We're very.
He had the most tall and dark and caramel hair on his head.
He had the most veiny, girthy elbows.
Really, I just loved his big, bulging purse on his hip. You're such a dumb bitch.
Shut the fuck up.
I just never know where we're going.
Oh my God, Kevin, really quick aside, I was going through Twitter and I found a video of you from 2019. Tell me why skinny mustache.
The one that I posted yesterday?
Yes. Tell me why skinny twink, no mustache, you looks even more like skinny twink mustacheless to me from like 2015. It was crazy we look so similar even without our mustaches, especially when we were around the same like lean level. It was crazy. Anyways, okay, so you'd think that my sex position for the week would be something really intimate and magical because of that experience, and it was. However, today I woke up from a very realistic dream about my brother dying, and I was
Oh.
so sad. And even when I woke up, I was like, oh yeah, like it was sad to have that dream, and like my brother's gone. I was like, oh my god, wait, my brother's alive! Ah! And then it turns out he's alive. So my sex position would be really fun, intimate sex, but then during the sex, the person dies. And I'm like, no, what happened? No. And their heart only stops beating for 15 seconds. They come back. They're like, oh my God, I thought I was gone. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was here for you. I know we don't know that much about each other, but I just felt so connected to you. And he's like, thank you for being here for me. That would be my sex position.
I feel like your sex position is actually just rigor mortis.
I'm finally ready to tell you who Kevin doesn't know about. Kevin, I was telling Kevin about someone yesterday and he's like, who's that? And he started making fun of her name because he was like, haha, her name sounds funny. Kevin doesn't know who Malala is.
Malala.
That's what he said. When I mentioned Malala, he went, Malala. I said, that's someone's name. He's like, who's that? I don't know.
A funny sound.
Is Timo
Good for
Googling
her.
who Malala is?
Neither of us know.
Americans are so illiterate. Guys, our producer, who's usually on my side, I just see him about to laugh at Kevin, stops laughing, leans into the keyboard and starts typing something. Guys, oh my God, this is so embarrassing for your country. Well, it's a little controversial now, but she's one of the most like prolific, like humanitarian people over the past decade. Like she got shot by the Taliban. Yeah, now you're gonna be like, oh, I feel bad laughing. Now it's even funnier that you laughed, you dumb raggedy bitch. So Malala got shot by the Taliban and survived. And she was somebody who was advocating for women's right to an education. I need to save your ass right now. I'm going to save your ass because I'm a nice person and I've known you for long enough. Audience, Kevin is not laughing at this. He's not a shitty person. Kevin's laughing at the absurdity of like not knowing who this person is, and also the juxtaposition between me going straight from, you don't know who Malala is, him going Malala, and me being like, she was shot in the head by the Taliban. That's why he's laughing. Just
people
know that
who
he's
are
not.
Important people can have funny names to me.
Yes, okay, and you realize that having an ethnic name sounds funny to you because you're a hick, right?
Kevin. She's got Lala in her name.
Kevin.
That's hilarious.
Kevin. Kevin. My name's Kevin. Kevin.
That was your reaction when I told you I don't know who Malala is. You went,
Kevin. Your reaction to me telling you, Malala, ha, ethnic name funny, ha ha ha.
What do you want from me in this moment?
Let me understand that. Let me think. What do I want?
Because it sounds like you want an apology. It sounds like you want me to be like, oh, you're right. Ooh, yes,
I don't
indeed.
want an apology. I want reflection. Do you see how you making fun of a name because it sounds funny is a little bit like ignorant and dumb?
But you're not bringing up her in a context of like importance or someone who is valuable to you. You brought her up as just a person without
does someone have
anything
to be valuable
So-
to me for you to not make fun of their ethnically rooted name?
No, but you've brought up a lot of ethnically rooted names that I haven't made fun of.
Do you want a medal?
So I don't see this as a pattern. Yes, I would like a cookie, and I would like a 4th cup of coffee. Thank you so much. My thing is that, like, let's dive into it. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying if yes, it was rude. However, I make many jokes that are grounded in rudeness, disrespect, and why is this the line?
Oh, because usually when it comes to
Is it
things
just
that
because the joke was sound different? Haha.
I don't find the name funny because I've grown up with many different names. Like that's my point, is that like it sounds funny to you because of your background and where you've been raised and the people you've been surrounded with. And so I'm saying that you making fun of this difference, it goes beyond just sound. I think it is very much like rooted in racial differences too, even if that's not your intention. I do think that is something to point to.
I don't disagree with you. Obviously, I'm in a safe space with you. Obviously,
Yes.
if I can stop and be like, no, why? I'm sorry. Like, but
Yeah.
what is the appropriate approach to something that like just objectively sounds funny to you?
Yeah. So like to me, if I'm like, for example, I'll take a step back. Obviously, like I don't represent every single minority in the world. I'm sure there are names from other ethnicities that if someone.
Because I want to stop you right there. I don't want to get any credit because I was being rude, and I should back off, because if there's someone important, if there's someone you care about, and I'm making fun of them, that's bad. But you, in our first conversation on the phone the other day, were like, you don't know, and you weren't giving me any context. You were just goading me, in my opinion.
Yes, I was goading
So-
you. Yes. hold up. You can't interrupt me this time because I was actually going to address something you were saying. Two things. I was goading you because
Okay.
I was like, oh, when I point out to Kevin who this is and point out the like unintentionally racist nature of his joke, he'll be like, oh, whoopsies, I fucked up. But actually you double down, which that's what I'm critiquing. I didn't expect you to be like, oh, like it's a sound that's funny to me, so I should laugh. And so like, it's actually upsetting to me, like genuinely, because I'm like, no, like people with different names get made fun of all the time. You grew up in a space where your name was never deemed different. And so you don't know what it's like to be on the receiving end of that and the racial undertones of that as well. And I know you as somebody who's pretty good at taking accountability and understanding or trying to understand, when people talk about their experiences and vice versa. You have experiences that I don't have that I will never understand. And I try my best to understand them as well. And I want you to call me out if I'm being problematic about them. But my point is that I think it's important to take a step back and be like, okay, yeah, this name sounds funny to me. Maybe I'll laugh at it out loud or in my head, like out loud if it's a safe space, sure. Like if it was just me and you not on the pod and you're like, hey, that name sounds funny and you were just laughing about it, I think different than being on a public podcast where people don't have the context of who you are, because that normalizes certain behaviors. Now, when you sound different or when you have a name that sounds different, when people innocently think it's just funny because it's a phonetic difference, you have to unpack and say, well, it's phonetically different because it's from a different culture. And so what to you is like, oh no, it's just like a phonetic thing. Like I laugh at white people names too. I think it's worth examining because it has a lot of racial undertones. And I've heard a lot of people be like, no, it's just funny. Like I'm not trying to do it for this X, Y, and Z reason growing up. And I think you're smarter than that. And I think that you're more intelligent than that and that you can really challenge that. And I encourage you to challenge it because it is hurtful and it's a little bit disappointing.
Loud and clear. I'll be more cautious next time. We are talking about a circumstance where around you, I feel more than comfortable to like kind of ignore your feelings sometimes and push for a joke, even if I know it's a little racy.
Yeah.
But again, in this context, I would have done it anyway. So I'm glad that you say these things so I can like, it's important to be like, no. This isn't a joke. Think about it for a sec, because like it's all fun and games until a pattern that everyone just has to put up with, So no, I appreciate you saying that.
Final thing. I just want to make sure you know that like the reason for you not making it isn't, oh yeah, it'll upset Taha, but it's actually rather, oh, like this joke is rooted in something deeper that I don't want to perpetuate.
No,
like,
totally. The more people dismiss something because different, the easier it is to just oppress people because different. It's just a slippery slope of that different, that bad, and that doesn't matter to me because that different.
Yeah, I appreciate
100%.
That. Okay, I really appreciate that. I think an important thing to highlight is that like we're raised, like you're not an inherently automatically evil person for reflecting the things that you were taught were funny, vice versa. It's how you respond to them and how you learn to move past them. And so I don't know. I think it's good to provide people with examples of how you can do better and be better because I am also in need of those lessons a lot of the time. I wanted to throw that out there. I don't want you to, I hope you don't,
Well, the next time you make fun of white people, I'm going to sit you down and really give you a nice learning lesson. I think that sounded
necessary. Really sexy.
The next time you disrespect,
can you say that again?
The next time you disrespect the hardworking men who take their shirts off at the gym and flex on your TikTok, I'm gonna put you in your place because people work hard, Taha.
I know.
Hard, and you need to respect that.
And I'm so sorry. I was really disrespectful about your cultural food the other day when you told me you were making KD with hot dogs in it. I shouldn't have laughed. It was just, I was in a tough place. I was in a dark space, and I thought that it was okay to kind of project my insecurities.
See, it's all about compassion and fairness. Thank you.
It really is.
Actually, speaking of compassion and fairness, I was debating whether or not to bring this up on the pod, but Drag Race All-Stars 9 was announced, and there's one queen whomst is a
Gen Z,
who people think are a Zionist.
What?
So yes. I'm curious to hear your take. Back in October, when Israel started their genocide on Palestine, every Zionist came out of the woodwork to just be the worst person and the least empathetic. So Nina West, in one of Amy Schumer's less aggressive but still unhinged Instagram posts, comments below, "I love you, Amy," heart emoji.
Yep, I saw this.
Yeah, because you've been scrolling through my Twitter like it's your fucking job, bitch.
Correct.
Meanwhile, she has said nothing to dispel any of those rumors or to address any of the qualms that people have had about possibly supporting loud Zionist thoughts.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know your take, because is someone's comment that they're making in emotional support for someone the same as subscribing to their thought process or their views? Is that one comment and her silence enough to designate her as part of the outgroup?
I am going to respond to that by saying I don't think the label matters. And let me explain. I think the discussion about whether this person is specifically a Zionist because they wrote "We love you, Amy" under one of Amy Schumer's posts. Amy Schumer, by the way, is an idiot. Truly, just an idiot.
Oh God, yeah.
This is not up for debate. For me, it's not about whether or not Nina West subscribes to these ideologies particularly. It's about the fact that she has publicly endorsed this ideology, somebody who's been vocally very disgusting and has literally insinuated that Palestinians are rapists. Anyways, I think the public display of support to me tells me that Nina West is disgusting for that take and for not standing up or saying anything about the genocide in Palestine. So when I put those two things together, for me, what's important and what's not important, it has nothing to do with, oh, is Nina West technically a Zionist? It is, did Nina West endorse somebody who has been incredibly racist and spewing pro-genocidal takes for the past 6 months? Yes, she did endorse that person. And has Nina West said anything about Palestinian people? No, she has not. And for me, that's enough information to be like, oh, that's a despicable person and I really don't care for them. And that matters more to me. Now, to answer your question about does it mean that they're technically a Zionist by label, I don't think it necessarily means that. Some people will say by supporting a Zionist, you are a Zionist. I don't know. She could be completely uninformed and not know. And it's like, oh, I'm supporting my friend Amy. Still makes her despicable because she's a grown adult who should do her homework or just do a quick Google search or literally look anywhere. But that is my response.
No, I completely agree. Rarely do we have an event in history that is so cut and dry and easy to determine who is being oppressed and who is the oppressor. The way it would be so easy to dispel any rumors by saying anything, by doing anything, and the fact that they haven't, that's kind of enough for me to just write her off. But what happens when the line in the sand is a lot more vague? What is your process to giving people other chances for something that may be stupid or something they weren't educated about, or an entertainer who thinks they don't have a responsibility to stay educated on these kind of topics, but their audience want them to?
I think I'm a lot more lenient and I'm just like, okay, this person's uneducated and stupid. They still like me and want to be my friend, which means they're going to engage with my stuff and they'll hopefully learn. And if they ever bring it up with me, I can talk to them about it. I'm pretty lenient about it, to be very frank. I'm just like, okay, they're dumb. I've also grown up in a family that, and being exposed to different ideas and seeing how, what people deem as quote unquote woke are actually just ideologies rooted in love. And I hope that I can be the same for them. And I've seen my family and myself work through a lot of that because, again, we were not raised with the greatest social values. And so that's where I kind of approach it from. What about you, though?
It depends. It depends on what I think someone's influence is. And it also depends on what I think their audience is. Like, a perfect example is Brittany Broski not tweeting about Palestine. Like 4 months ago or something, people were like, why aren't you saying anything? And I was like, I don't think Brittany Broski is going to tip the scale in any way. Granted, I think it's important for as many people as possible to speak, but I do think her audience, in large, are people who are young and educated on the topic and
Disagree
already
completely. No, I
You
think she has
do?
enough social influence to have some sort of impact, especially because she has a majority white audience and a lot of rednecks. And I don't mean that in a rude way. I don't know the actual term. That came off really rude. Sorry. A lot of people from maybe more
No,
conservative or
hey,
like myopic places in the States follow her because she's really relatable and cool and she's like a country gal. And she's proved herself in the
interesting.
past to be very relatable. So I do think her opinion would have been able to do something impactful. Now, to not say something is one thing. Another thing she did was get mad at people for asking her to say something and centering herself, which I think was upsetting. I have seen her share stuff since then, and she's a human being. She's not disposable. I really hope parasocially that, she can understand why the way she approached it was not great at all. and that she can grow and
Mm-hmm.
learn what it means to be socially responsible. But I disagree with you. I think she has a lot of pull. I think white people have way more pull
Interesting.
than you guys realize. I don't think you realize how much pull you have.
For sure.
No, but it's not for sure. You didn't agree that she had a tipping scale thing right now, right? So my point is that, like, when a white person, especially in the early months when nobody was with me on this, it felt like whenever a white creator came out in support of Palestine, it was so nice. It gave us permission to not be seen as fucking extremic terrorists. That guy that told you about who called me basically an Islamic terrorist in my DMs, like,
Mm-hmm.
that becomes less of a thing when more white people advocate. And so actually you guys are incredibly powerful to the movement because of the way that we overvalue your words.
Well, I'm learning a lot today, aren't I?
Yeah.
No, I don't disagree with you. I guess there was just a disconnect on how we saw their audience and their effect, but that makes complete sense to me. I guess yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone shouldn't be disappointed by their actions by not saying anything. I think what gets me is the demand to say something, but at the same time, you phrase it very powerfully where we shouldn't be looking to celebrities to say these things so that issues can be supported, but unfortunately in this world we do. Something that actually I'm wondering now and kind of dissecting why I am annoyed with RuPaul for not saying something about literally anything ever. Meanwhile, I'm like, yeah, but Brittany Broski's like a dumb clown, so who cares? I wonder if there's anything to dissect there. Uh and it's interesting
Probably.
because reading RuPaul's memoir, there's a lot in there about like the smartest people in the world don't say anything. And it's like, okay, well, now the world's a little different than it was in the 70s, where
Yeah.
the smartest people in the world should probably keep talking because the dumbest people in the world are also talking and they are using megaphones. So
Also, the smartest people in the world don't say anything just means that you don't want people to know what you actually think because it'll lose you money. Therefore, you have to be smart. That's literally telling on yourself, you know?
cool. Oh my gosh, this is heavier than I wanted it to be. Well, that's not true. I brought up genocide. This is
Well,
heavier than I wanted the podcast to be, but I'm
I
very
think
glad I talked to you. I like it when we disagree on stuff. I learn a lot.
I have a really good segue. I'm not going to say that, though. I shouldn't say segue. I need to stop doing that. You know what was more painful than expelling tears from my tear ducts because of some, like, pent up feelings? Neil Patrick Harris's TikTok he made with his children. Did you watch that?
Oh my gosh.
So
Yes.
cringe. It was so cringe. It was so cringe. It was so cringe. It's layered. It's so layered. It's like the first layer is what he sees, which is something funny that the kids are groaning at. The second layer is realizing how scripted it is and seeing the children just like not sincerely believe what they're saying. There's a lot to it. And I want to know if you saw it.
Yeah, I have. Oh my god. First of all, let's get one thing clear. Don't show your kids online. Stop
Yeah.
showing your kids online.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop. Like first of all, if you're good enough to create content by yourself, then be good enough. Stop using your fucking kids for views. That's fucking weird.
I can
Family
see
channels are weird.
I can see him thinking it's fun to include his kids and stuff. I do agree. Here's my problem and why I'm a hypocrite. I agree that family channels are weird. They exploit children. I think it's totally bad. I'm a hypocrite because I see the content and I'm like, oh, that kid's so cute. I love this video. And I'm like, there's a disconnect here that I need to fix, right? I can't engage with it and be happy about it and be like, oh, they shouldn't do it. I agree that they shouldn't do it. Should I stop engaging with it? I don't know.
Yeah, you should. My point, I don't think that like you shouldn't watch children online. I'm not going to stop all the perverts from doing their favorite thing. I don't care. But I think that that's a joke. I don't think that all people that watch family channels are perverts. But my point still stands. There's too many instances of abuse where parents of family channels are being taken to prison because they were being abusive towards their kids. And so if there's not a union present, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. Like kids,
Yeah.
like we just watched Nickelodeon go through
Yes.
all of this bullshit with their
Yes.
child actors, and
Yeah.
that was under supervision.
Jesus.
So I
Yeah.
don't trust any parent that's gonna bring their fucking child into a TikTok. I know a creator, her name is Khan, and she
I love
her whole thing
I love
online.
her.
She's such a good creator.
She's so cool.
And she got popular by originally she's such a good creator.
She's so cool.
And she got popular by originally finding people's birthdays online.
Yeah.
And it is so easy to do that. And what I think is really fucking terrifying is like this creator in her spare time can find any birthday of any
Yeah.
person in her comment section that she can, with maybe an hour of her time just
Yeah.
scrolling through and finding all this information. So you're gonna post your fucking children on TikTok as one of the most popular like celebrities? You're gonna post your fucking children? That's wild. That shows such negligence. It's a slippery slope. It might as well be at a fucking water park.
My question is though, like, if his kids have already been like quote unquote publicly seen by the press, and he's like, "Oh, my kids are like older now, and like it would be fun to have them in a video," does that change the context of that?
Yes, yes. They don't know. Kids don't know what the internet can do. They don't know how dangerous it is. I have no sympathy. You can't
Yeah.
ask a 4-year-old about like, "Hey, do you want to be in this video?"
No,
They
but
can't
they're older. That was
conceptualize
my
that.
point.
Well, I guess what's the proper age when you understood how dangerous the internet was? I
Like
would say
young.
like 24. I didn't learn until I was much later.
Yeah.
Again, it's like that's a thing, but also I think it's an interesting conversation where it's like, why is Instagram allowed to make money from like 14-year-old children that are making videos and getting thousands of views? Like, is that not profit that a large corporation is making from children?
Yep. That is
Like when someone just
true.
harmless or not, whether they're trying to make it a job or not, kids are posting content online. Google, Microsoft, Meta, they're all making exorbitant
Yes.
amount of profits from it.
I hate
And
that.
is that not child labor?
That is okay. So yeah, I guess so. I never thought of it like that.
Oopsie.
I have a
Uh-oh.
problem with and look,
I'm so
everyone's
salty
like,
about this conversation.
no, you should be. I mean, look, everyone's like, oh my god, TikTok threat, blah blah blah, and I'm like, Instagram doesn't have an age flagging thing. Instagram has child influencers. TikTok bans them. TikTok doesn't let them go
Yeah.
on. I don't know, like
Yeah.
Instagram. I'm literally scrolling through and I'll see like a little girl be like, "Hey guys, like I just got home from school, da da da," and people are like, "Oh my god, like go queen, you're so cute." I'm like, I cannot engage with this post at all. I don't want to encourage them because this is scary. Their parents should not
And
be
also-
allowing this. Like Kevin, you know, I literally have told you how much I love my nephews. Nothing of my nephews leaves my close friend's story. Nothing will you know what I mean? Like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you're saying also.
Yeah, also we're not perverts. High five through the internet.
Despite what our mustaches may signal.
May imply, but
imply.
you know, sometimes we just like a nice extra tool to save food for later.
Yeah. Actually could never grow a mustache, so I went to Turkey and they took my pubic hair and they transplanted it into my upper lip.
Taha, I mean, this is a friend. Your pubic hair looks great on your face.
So does yours.
They did a
sorry,
great
I know I'm
job.
not supposed to tell
That's your
people
pubic
about
hair?
your pube transplant.
No. I grew
that
this
okay?
myself. This is not my pubic hair. Do not tie us together.
No, it
you
is.
Said your thing.
Oh, sorry.
This is my thing.
Right. Wink, wink. It's
Yeah.
not your pubic hair.
I
Sorry,
grew
guys.
my mustache myself. The glue is very expensive, okay? So shut the fuck up. I grew this myself.
Oh dear.
Anyway.
Okay. Question for
Neil
you guys.
Patrick Harris.
Pausing.
Okay, and then wait. There's so many. I'm still not done with this Neil Patrick Harris tweet.
Go.
So TikTok. It's so bad.
It's so cringe.
Also, I just need every celebrity out there to like get a fucking job. Get a job. Like if you're an actor, go act. Stop trying to write funny skits because you're all bad at it. You're all bad, and no one wants to see it. I am so like Neil Patrick Harris. The thing is, he teed himself up for the perfect joke of, I just joined TikTok. Isn't this fun that I'm going to be here forever? Because TikTok is going to be here forever, regardless of what any politician may want or think. Like,
I
there's
know.
a joke
For him to
there
join right when it's
about
getting
how
banned.
TikTok- I'm like, you're stupid. You're actually not a funny person now. Like,
I know.
I'm just like, you can't be this cringe, this wrong, show your children, and also be old.
know.
Flop. Delete it.
Man.
Delete it, flop. No, he's got millions of dollars. He's doing fine.
No.
Get out of your own space.
I
get
get what
a
you
job.
mean. Okay, no. I understand what you mean by the old
Go
thing.
entertain
Yes.
some of your people. Go make
Yeah.
another Hulu show that no one watches.
Oh,
Go.
dear.
Go.
Oh dear, Kevin. But I understand.
I don't care.
I do understand. And I totally get what you're saying about like where actors will be like, oh my god, I'm good at acting and I'm famous. I must be a talented writer too. And it's like, whoa. You don't see Olympic figure skaters being like, I'm going to try out for the Major League Baseball or what's it called? MLB.
You got it, baby.
Okay, thank you. Continue.
You're getting there. If you're going to be a celebrity who's entering a space that you're not currently occupying, you should probably do more research. Neil Patrick Harris, I know you're listening. I know you listen to the cast. I know you're a big fan. I know you're going to continue to be a big fan because what we're saying is right. And I know you know.
Oh my God, Joe.
Fucking get a grip. Get a grip and do something better. Like, do better. Do better. Also, I encourage everyone to look up this TikTok because it will ruin your day. But
It's cringe.
at the end, he ends it. The button at the end of the video is saying his catchphrase from a show that ended in 2008 that no one has referenced since.
Yeah.
And that's just really great. If you have nothing going
too.
on that you need to remind people about, get a job.
It was
Find
a
job
cringe,
and get one.
Yeah.
I am being extra harsh to Neil Patrick Harris only because I see people who make $0 create content on a daily basis that is exponentially better than anything he could possibly come up with. So I am impatient when it comes to celebrities entering a space who have nothing but their celebrity status and they think that's good. Like, you're not even Jennifer Aniston selling smart water. Like, you're not even selling us anything. You're literally just being bad at what you do. And there was a TikTok from Zach Woods that came out yesterday doing a Get Ready With Me natural makeup day. It was so fucking funny to me because he was using all the right words, but it's hilarious because Zach Woods from The Office and Silicon Valley is just never going to be someone who fits into a beauty aesthetic. The way he presents himself, he constantly looks like he's gonna cry. Like, it's so funny to watch an actor like him who knows their brand, knows what to do in the space that they're in. And whether you think it's the best TikTok or not, it's not performative. It is building on an idea that others have created before them. It's like he understands comedy, he's a writer, he gets it. And that's what I like. Like, if you're going to be a celebrity entering a space that other people occupy, then like do your homework and look at what the space demands.
You can tell he spent time in the online space so he can like use his comedic skills to have fun with it and like speak the language of the quote unquote internet.
Exactly. So I think like that's a perfect stark difference between two quote unquote creators where I'm like, this person gets it, this person understands the medium, they've done the work, or the other person is just looking for attention.
Yeah, that's fair. I have a question for you though before we wrap up and get to tango and red flag, green flag. Really quickly, I'll make it quick. I was saying something when I was very emotionally heated. You interrupted me because you were trying to tell me that I didn't need to, like, you were doing it in a comforting way, which I appreciate, but I didn't get to finish my thought. My thought was, I think the reason that the comment mixed with just feeling heavy talking about the Palestine stuff was hurtful was because in that moment, like, it felt like you were unsafe to be around and you were a safe person for me before. And I do feel safe around you. It was a momentary thing. I know you beyond this podcast. That was a scary thing. Have you had an experience where you felt a shift around someone you care about, where you went from feeling safe to unsafe? How does that affect you? Are you emotionally reactive about that? Like, or are you protective? What is that for you?
Unsafe is a word I don't generally associate myself with because in any instance that I can think of off the top of my head when I'm feeling unsafe, it's a physical response. So like if I'm walking down the street at night or if I'm in a gay bar and I'm reminded that, you know, something bad could happen at any time because people are monsters in this world, that like those are those moments, but they come from external physical responses. They are not like talking to someone emotionally.
For me, the reason I get emotional is like if I don't feel emotionally safe with someone, I don't feel like there's somebody whose values I can trust anymore. Like, I don't know, like, has that happened to you where you feel like a lack of safety around them and like, do you have a reaction to it?
Yeah, so I guess I don't have the experience to identify when I'm emotionally unsafe.
Okay.
Well, I'll ask you this then. I see exactly what you identified. How, as someone who wants to identify as an ally, can better empathize with those who like emotionally often don't feel safe in some spaces, whether someone like me creates that space on purpose or not. Like, what can I do to better prevent that from ever happening again, or from helping to identify when I'm creating a space that is unsafe?
Listening is everything, and you listen and I appreciate it, and I do appreciate it. And I think letting people speak is important. Like, I think from your perspective, the few times when I was trying to explain the context of something you might not understand, you had cut me off, but I correct me if I'm wrong, I think I know you well enough to know that it's coming from a place of, I don't think you're going, oh, I know better than him, I'll cut him off. I think in Kevin's brain is, oh, Taha's over-explaining himself. I want him to not feel like he has to do the labor. Don't even worry about it. That's what I think it comes from. Is that right? That's right? Like,
I won't lie. There's part of me that's like, I'm being recorded, and the last thing I want is for me to post this, and then for the audience to be like, wow, he still doesn't fucking get it. Taha's being so nice, and he doesn't even get it. So there is also that fear that keeps me being like, yeah, definitely. I will finish the sentence before you do because I know so much about it. Like, there's that.
No, that's a very natural fear. I'm glad you admitted that. Yeah. Everyone would have that terror. Anyone that says that they wouldn't is lying to themselves. So I appreciate your transparency about that. But no, like, listening is important.
But also at the same time, I don't know how to shut up.
You're talking to someone who doesn't know how to shut up.
If you knew how to shut up, I wouldn't be complaining about Neil Patrick Harris on this cast.
Yeah. Hey, neither of us know how to shut up. And we don't know how to shut up to the extent that we literally record ourselves every week, just not shutting up. So to answer your question, just listen like you do, and I appreciate it. And I've always known you. The reason I was happy to do this podcast with you is because I do genuinely feel safe with you. It was just a momentary thing where I was like, we come from different backgrounds. I have to explain why this is hurtful. And so it just like hurt a bit. But we're back to good territory because my instincts proved correct and you took accountability, and I appreciate you. How I feel about your gardening skills is a whole other conversation, because yesterday on FaceTime you were ripping apart these beautiful plants and repotting them. Anyways, that's not for this episode.
And we'll see if they die. My allyship is a lot like the way I garden. It is clumsy, but kind of beautiful at the end.
Did you just become the Amy Schumer to my Nina West?
Hey, that makes us both bad people. High five through the internet.
Yeah! You sounds like you have a green thumb. You know what else is green? The flag you're going to tell me about. What is your green flag? Just kidding. Red flag is what we usually do at the beginning. What is your red flag?
I mean, my red flag is Neil Patrick Harris. That's it. This may be a bold statement, but I do think Neil Patrick Harris creating that TikTok is more damaging than anything I've said on this podcast. So
there you go.
And you agree?
I will co-sign that statement.
Yeah, your silence. I mean, if Nina West is a Zionist for not saying anything, then you not saying anything means that you agree that Neil Patrick Harris is the worst thing that's happened on this podcast today. You agree. Thank you so much.
This man is a PR nightmare. The joke you just made makes it sound like you secretly think Nina West is innocent. Okay, so that's your red flag. My red flag is I'm comfortable like tearing up or like being emotional from like happy, joyful things. I don't like crying if I'm hurt or people seeing that. It's very vulnerable. Don't do it super often, and I don't like it. So that's my red flag. I know that being emotional is like blah, 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 but I don't like it. And I'm just going to try not to feel ashamed of it. And I'm going to figure that out on my own. But that's my red flag.
Well, hold on. I made a joke and you made it serious. So now it sounds like I didn't take this conversation seriously. My red flag is making you feel unsafe in this space.
Oh,
I was talking about Neil Patrick Harris.
Oh,
and then you said something real.
Oh, then it sounds like you didn't. I get what you mean. Yes.
Because I don't actually plan on bulldozing anything you said today. My red flag is making you feel unsafe. That's never. Oh God. I hate the idea of not being able to pay attention. Because it's one thing to make jokes. That's another thing to be not a person who listens. And I don't want to ever close my ears.
What's your green flag?
You having the patience to speak with me about one of the many things that I can improve on. I appreciate that you are confident and smart enough to speak on it, because it's one thing to be like, I believe in this cause on the internet. It's another thing to have like a face-to-face conversation and say like, this is how you made me feel. This is what you did. This is how you did it. And I don't like that. And that's really fucking hard to do. And that's my green flag.
My green flag is you listening when it felt like you weren't, and actually being like, okay, I'm going to take a step back and actually listen. I appreciate it. And I'm learning the ways that you show people you care about them, and you're very like action oriented versus like words of affirmation. So like, correct me if I'm wrong, instead of being like, oh, I thought like I care about you, you'll be like, hey, I'm going to take a step back. Let's talk about this. What did I do? Or like, hey, I wanted to check in on you this week. How are you? Like, that feels like a love language of yours. And so that's my green flag, is you taking accountability for that and feeling genuinely cared about by you as not just like a podcast co-host, but a friend. So appreciate that. Now we have a comment for Tango.
As y'all know, All of our comments are vetted by my dog, so if there's any negative comments, I have Tango read them, and he lets me know if they're really speaking to the vibe, if you will. Tungus,
Yep.
come here. Oh, is he here? Oh, Tungus.
Oh, this week Tango read something that was commented on by somebody who definitely does not even watch our podcast.
Read it to me, Diva.
So the comment is, I honestly think both of these two are just mean and boring. And someone replies, I agree, one of those jarring gays. I tried to diffuse it with humor. I said, watch an episode. You'll see we're just dumb and mentally unwell. The person just replies, that's even worse.
Yeah, you did not diffuse that situation well at all.
I have never been called mean in my life. I've many things. Hypocrite, mentally unwell, idiot, a bit rude, sassy. Mean is not something I am.
You called yourself mean earlier in this podcast when you said you have to be meaner to me because I'm being mean to you. What are you talking about?
But like mean as a person, like to my core, like I'm not a mean person.
Taha, you literally made me cry because you said I wasn't a good ally. That's how all of this started.
You shut the fuck up.
I was the one crying. You made me cry.
Well,
that's the
grow
truth.
that
Everyone
mustache
agrees.
out another inch, you'll be crying because you're on a list. You're like, I don't want to engage with children's content. Yeah, you won't be engaging with their parks either. Within 6
You
feet.
watched that Neil Patrick Harris TikTok. You're not innocent.
So what does Tango have to say about that?
Tango is disengaging. Tango is separating
Meredith
himself
Marks.
from the drama. He is above it.
Yes, I know the reference.
I'm going to get you in on Housewives one of these days. We're going to be watching it. It's going to be great. The history of the royal kingdom that is the Housewives franchise is a tapestry of beauty and grace and wine throwing, and I cannot wait to share it with you.
You are not the first homosexual to tell me that.
Seriously, guys, thank you so much. Like, comment, and subscribe, of course. Be sure to give us a good rating on any location where you listen to your podcasts. And if you think that I was unfairly targeted this episode, just go directly to Taha's DMs and you let him know. And honestly,
comment it.
I
want
you to attack Taha with your comments below because I'm an uwu baby and I didn't deserve that. I'm kidding, of course. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. We
appreciate you guys being here. We have fun doing this. We were supposed to do an episode about gym bros today, but we didn't because the conversation organically went somewhere else, and we just have fun talking to each other. So it's honestly just really fun doing this with you guys.
Hey, but tune in next week when we talk about gym bros, hopefully.
Yep, hopefully. Bye.
Bye.
Mama.